You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. Oops. There we go. That's where we go. Well, good morning and hello, kids. Welcome to Season 3 and episode number 65 of the Daily Beaver here on, excuse me, I got something in my throat. Here we go. Daily Beaver here on the Crier Media Network. Today, recording day is Monday, February 27th, 2023. And it looks like it will be a mostly sunny day here at the Beaver Lodge. I got some weird stuff going on with my hair here. Let's fix that. There we go.
Me too.
I'm your host. Consistency. It's very important.
True.
I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, he, Mr. Beaver A. And with me as always, as you could hear, is my dear friend, Mr. Grizzly. Of course, a big thank you goes to our podcast's founding sponsors, the Peppermaster, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. Today, we have a Monday morning bite for you. And given that there seems to be just pretty much one topic, well, several threads that kind of lead to a common pool, but we didn't know that was happening at the beginning, this show is pretty much going to be only about like one or two things.
Yeah, I think so.
And unless you've been living under a rock, I think you're probably won't need three guesses to figure out what it is we're going to be talking about today.
Well, I've got a video, not a video.
Hold on,
I've got a.
How's your mental health?
Oh,
Oh, there's a story there.
yeah.
Okay.
All this stuff is just twisting
Yep.
my noodle.
Yep. I'm right with you. All right. Good morning, Kit Linda. Good morning, Kit Jillian. Good morning, Kit Ruse. Mayong Buntag. And good. Oh, Yannick Yoda. Is that a new name for us?
Yes.
I think it might be. Welcome. Welcome, Yannick Yoda. And yeah, there you go. All right. I interrupted you when I was asking you how your mental health was going.
Yeah, it's noodle's been twisted a little bit over the weekend, as I'm sure you can understand why. The fact that we have conservative members members of the Conservative Party dining with a Nazi, welcoming a Nazi and dining with a Nazi. Yeah, don't have dinner with Nazis. Yeah.
Duh. It's bad.
Yeah, well, it's one of the first things I saw here. Is this? I'm going to post this. It says from the Platypus CA. Canada sends our sincere thanks to Anderson Nazi bitch for exposing exactly who the anti-immigrant, anti-LGBTQ, anti-Islam nationalist MPs are in Pierre Poilievre's CPC party. And we always suspected it was Colin Carey, Leslyn Lewis, and Dean Allison. Now we know for sure.
Oh, and
So,
there's probably more.
there's definitely
There's only
more.
so much room at the table.
Well, and you do recall, of course, there was the letter. I think I have it right here. Statement for immediate release. Now, if you look at this entire thing I've got on the screen,
yeah, I've got a whole thing with that, right? So,
well,
okay. Okay, go ahead.
okay. So there's the official statement from
Yep.
Allison, Carey, and Lewis saying we didn't know.
Yep.
But this comment,
You're ruining my show. Dude.
come on, we're on the same wavelength, dude.
Yeah, I know, but there's an order to present this.
Well, we don't talk about this stuff. We just go on and do it live. So
Yeah. No. There's an order. Yeah, no. I thought you were going to give me the regular stuff that you give me to start.
this is the only thing that's on my brain right now. Nothing else.
All right. Right. Okay, then fine. Let's get into that. But let's give it a little order because, oh my God, it's a mess.
Well,
It's a mess.
the only statement from Skippy was third hand to Brian Lilley.
Yeah.
There's no
Okay.
official statement. And
Nothing.
his Twitter, nothing on his Twitter. And all weekend long, all he did was continue to attack Justin Trudeau over inflation and just distraction.
Literally. Okay. So here's the thing. With the emergency inquiry being so final, we're not debating that. Doesn't seem we're discussing it much, though. However, but this kind of brings it back, and you'll see why later on. But since we're not talking about the emergency thing because there's no controversy, we have time for our entire attention on this.
Yep.
Which is a nice bonus. So, wow, this is where to start, man. This is insane. Okay, let's do this way. The first thing that I noticed was something from Kian, Crybaby Caillou.
Nazi Caillou.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that guy, Here we go. I'll do a share screen here with you.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the one?
I don't know. I can't see anything.
I know, yeah. Just making sure. Okay. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger. But that will not allow me to move the screen. Okay.
Oh, I'll wait till you get that rectified and then we'll put it up.
Yeah, okay. So this is about as good as it's going to get, I think. And why will it not? Come on, man.
Not blowing up for
There
you.
we go.
Okay.
There we go. All right. So, if Pierre Poilievre doesn't learn quickly that the vast majority of conservatives want to reduce immigration, he is quickly going to turn into Aaron O'Toole. I was like, okay, why are we talking about this all of a sudden? And why are we warning? So why are we warning about Pierre? And why are we talking about immigration? So I'm like, it's just weird to come up right now. So I can't figure out what it is, but I'm sitting there like, okay. Some people are complaining that he's not racist enough for his liking. Okay, that's interesting. What does that mean? What else is going on? So that was my first inkling. Oh, really? It goes back to the top every damn time.
Frustrating, eh?
This is not going to cooperate. I put so much work into this. Darn.
That's why you got to take screenshots.
Yeah.
Snip and sketch. Use that.
I was up till like 3 a.m. figuring this out. Okay, I'm gonna have to do them all as open as separate windows, and that'll just make it easier. And then, yeah, this was the next thing that I saw. That was, there you go, Mr. Grizzly. I've got a system now.
Okay.
All right. I commented on Trucker Pleb's comment acting as if I was a PPC supporter as an experiment to see what kind of division I could stew up. Surprised on the level of engagement my comment received in a short time. And it's this guy that wrote, "Guys, it's time to ditch this guy," about Poliver. Maxime Bernier is the man who will get this done. And of course, because I like to help. I quoted that. I took one of Pierre's Poliver tweets, and it's like, the PPC voters are starting to catch on that Pierre's a bit of a poseur. That Bernier might indeed be their real man after all. Because, I like to help. So something's going on. And it's, what is it? And then all of a sudden, I see this. What you opened with. We're deeply concerned by CPC MPs Leslyn, Lewis, Dean, Allison, and Colin Kerry meeting with Anderson, a member of the far-right German AfD party known for Islamophobic and anti-immigrant views. We raised this directly with the Conservatives. And they're posing for a picture, and that's what you see at first. And then you see, well, wait a minute, there's a table with dishes and chairs, and, oh, okay, well. And right in the middle is this woman. Now, this here is Colin Kerry, for people who don't recognize. That's Leslyn Lewis. And
Dean Allison.
Dean Allison, where's that guy?
That's him right there, isn't it?
That's him right there, yeah. Dean Allison. And this here is Christine Anderson. And Christine Anderson is a member of the European Parliament from Germany. And she's with the German AfD party, which is a very, very, very far-right party. Quite
Yeah, they're anti everything that isn't them.
Right.
Basically anti-immigration, anti-Islam or anti-Muslim. They're Islamophobes. They're against anybody who is if you don't fit their cis het white narrative, you don't exist to them.
So we have got Kitlinda Anderson has proposed a bill to support women's work-life balance, quote, so that they can have more babies, so the EU won't rely on immigration to raise population numbers. That type of stuff, just warm and friendly and fuzzy people. So then comes Canada's number one conservative water carrier, Mr. Brian Lilley. Nothing yet. Now, the thing that's really interesting about this, right, is that as soon as Blackface happened, they were all over that.
Yeah.
But now we're dining with, if not Nazis, German extremists, but like extremists from Germany. Never a good combination of words, especially in politics, right? So we got this Brian Lilley guy. I asked Poliver's office for a comment on the meeting of 3 MPs and Christine Anderson. I received this comment from Pierre via text from a senior Poliver staffer, someone I've known for well over a decade. Okay, that's fine. It's the next line. Many apparently think it's fake. It's not, or Poliver would say so. Why is that necessary?
Yeah.
Why is it necessary to pre-butt? You're running interference beforehand here. Nobody asked. Many apparently think it's fake. It's not, or Poliver would say so. Okay, so again, a man about whom we've commented has an ease and comfort with lying that is extremely disturbing, is the person whose word we're supposed to take. Because if it wasn't, he would say so. On an issue that would make him look bad, it could actually, in a normal world, because over there it's conservative land, would require, people would have resigned by now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and his tenure might be up, right? So we're supposed to. He would tell us if that was Mr. Lilley said. Basically, calms. He's basically patting us on the head.
Mhm.
And now, don't you worry your pretty little heads. Uncle Petey would tell us if something bad was going on. He
Uncle
wouldn't hide
Petey.
anything from us ever. No.
He hasn't made a statement about this at all. Nothing
Uncle
publicly.
Pierre Poutine would. Sorry, Pierre Poliver would never hide anything from us. Anyway, so Christine's Anderson views are vile and have no place in our politics. The MPs were not aware of this visiting member of the European Parliament's opinions, and they regret meeting with her. Frankly, it would have been better if Anderson never visited Canada in the first place. She and her racist, hateful views are not welcome here, says Pierre.
Yeah,
Apparently.
that's a gigantic pile of bovine fecal matter.
Oh, yeah, and we gonna get in that. But apparently, Pierre said that. We don't know.
I've never
Appropriate
been
use of
on live
apparently in this case,
television before.
right? Because we haven't seen him.
Nope.
So, Pierre Poliver has a bit of Doug Ford disease. Morning pour.
Yes.
Brought to you by Don't Eat with Nazis. This is a public service announcement from the True North Eager Beaver. Read the cup. Wow. So this is a go-to play, right? Conservatives have two plays. I was only joking. Can you take a joke, man? Well, and that doesn't really apply in this case. The other one was, I didn't know. Had I known, clutch pearls, I most certainly wouldn't have, because I'm a patriot and I love my country, and I wouldn't lie about something so vital to. I'm a conservative, after all. We believe in institutions.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, cutting bait like he did on the Diagolon guys, cutting bait like he did on the convoy people, cutting bait like he did on the Bitcoin people. Once is an accident. Two might be a coincidence. Three is a habit.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a pattern. It's a pattern. So, I didn't know. The MGTOW, I didn't know. The convoy people, I didn't know there were Nazi flags. It's just, they just never. If only somehow they could have known. If only there was something in the universe they could just like go and click a couple of things and find out about people. And if only they had millions and dollars of taxpayer money funding their offices and hiring staff, and if only they did PR and communications and they had people dedicated in their staff looking at who they're going to meet with when they make a dinner date to see if they're the type of person that maybe they should not. If only they had.
Yeah, it's
If
none of it.
only a system like that existed, it would make it so much easier for them.
None of it carries any water. It's the biggest line of bullshit I've ever read in my life. Ever. And I've read some whoppers. But this one, we didn't know. You publicly supported this woman a year ago when she came out against Trudeau in the European Parliament. You publicly supported her. So
Right.
don't tell me you didn't know who she was and what she stood for.
Right.
They have this thing called Google. Maybe you've heard of it. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. It's this new thing called a search engine for the internet. You know what the internet is, right? It's a computer thing that we use, like
Thing of system of tubes.
tubes, yes, that connect to each other around the world. It's the
So,
biggest line of bullshit I've ever heard in my life, that they didn't know who she was. That's
okay.
a lie.
Right. So we've got Pierre Poliver, right? Probably the North American politician, other than probably George Santos at the moment, that has like the greatest comfort and frequency with lying. Probably so much that he might be the only politician, along with George Bush, Santos, who can make Donald Trump blush when it comes to lying. All right. So we're supposed to take his word. Uncle Brian tells us that everything's going to be okay. And then, so of course, right, when you see those things, right, of course, then, right, Brian then committed journalism and asked, well, given the millions of taxpayer dollars that went into your offices, right, why is it not standard operating procedure that Stafford do a pre-check on people MPs see, right? No, he didn't ask that.
No.
And then, of course, Brian referred to the House of Commons Hansard, to which you referred to, Mr. Grizzly, in which Colin Carey, who was at the Nazi brunch, mentions Christine Anderson and asks anyone in the CPC to explain how that could be that if they don't know her, are unaware of her views. Yeah, right. No, that didn't happen either. The journalist suddenly lost his ability for curiosity, I think it is.
They welcomed her with
Yeah.
open arms.
So Conservative MPs are not aware of the opinions of the EU Parliament MP they were celebrating months earlier, as you mentioned, because she bashed the Prime Minister and was no less ignorant when she did it then. And we covered it on the show because we showed the clip of the Prime Minister getting the ovation at the European Parliament because everybody was saying that it was empty, and it was not. And there were 3 European Parliament members, she being one, who made a big stink, said that he was a disgrace to democracy or something like that. And that got tons of coverage. I don't know how many members are of the European Parliament. It's a lot. Yes. 3 said something stupid and ignorant and got global coverage.
And they walked out on her.
Yeah. She is coming to town. She's the one that's coming to town. They say they don't know her. They're talking about her. Their nipples got really, really hard when she called him a dictator. Because we all heard about it.
I mean, look,
it made their day. And she's coming to Canada, so somebody must have, she didn't, it's not like she doesn't have any contacts and was like, oh, I'm just going to go to Canada and just go to these random places and start talking, right? I mean, clearly there was some coordination to make this trip happen, so she's got contacts on this side.
It's no big mystery that politicians philander and lie. This is a given, right? But at least, Jesus, come up with a lie that's even plausible. I mean, this is at the level of kindergarten. Did you eat the chocolate? Well, the chocolate is all over your face. No, I didn't eat the chocolate. But you have chocolate all over. It's not chocolate. It's not chocolate.
It's that that commercial. Remember with the 2 kids? I think they're in the bathroom. There's this whole mess, and did you do it? And the guy just points to his blood.
Yeah.
So, so we got Colin.
It's my stick. I got it from Home Depot.
Right. So here we go. We got Colin here in his statement right here in the March 28th, 2022, 12:38 p.m. If you put it up, Mr. Grizzly, we have more uncertainty. Who would have thought the Canadian Prime Minister last week was admonished and condemned in Brussels at the European Parliament for headlines around the world? The Prime Minister was called out for engaging in a dictatorship of the worst kind by EU parliamentarians who warned us about the path of our country and how the Prime Minister handled the truckers in the Emergencies Act. Though, yes, by the worst kind by EU parliamentarians. The S is doing a lot of work because it was 3. 3. Yeah. Represented like it was the consensus stance.
Is that enough for quorum? No, I think you need 4 for quorum, do you not?
And then, best yet, the Western Standard has her freaking itinerary.
Yeah. Well, remember,
now, I know that most Liberals and NDPers and Quebecois don't read the Western Standard. I believe the adherents of certain political parties are more inclined to read the Western Standard than others.
Well, it's the media arm of the Christo-fascist PBCC.
So very connected with the PPC, and the PPC votes that the CPC is trying to, that's a lot of C's, right? That the CPC is trying to steal back or earn back, I guess, because the 3 or 4% difference that could swing between 3 and 7% for the Maxime Bernier party is right. It's like it's guaranteed opposition for life.
Pretty much,
Which is
yeah.
why they're so desperately trying to get them back. So they got her itinerary. They know who she was because she made the press because, she was, it is essentially attention seeker by, making a comment, making a stand, and knowing that was stand in that way, and knowing that, everybody would cover it. And, it was a high profile event. I mean, he was addressing the parliament, and he is the dean of the G7 nations now. Right? He's the longest serving. So he's the one that people look up to now. Man. So then we have this. Is it from Mark Gerritsen, who's an MP from Kingston here? And then this is, I love this. This is beautiful. So we don't know her. We don't know what her views are. Right? We don't know she's coming. And then
Gotta turn it up.
Your peer Polyev. What is your opinion on Polyev?
I've spoken in a couple of times. He seems to be a decent guy.
Hi.
Yeah.
We don't know reviews. I spoke to him a couple of times. Okay,
Well,
kids, I know this goes without
that's a
saying,
he said,
but
she
for the
said
people,
now.
yes, but for the people way in the back row, when a political extremist, particularly from Germany, calls you a decent guy, that's not good. That's not a compliment.
Well, and Dean Allison.
Yes. Good lady.
Yeah, good lady. Like I'll read this out for those sitting at home. So Raoul Duke's salt
Well,
shaker.
no, I'm getting there.
Okay, all right.
I'm getting there. That's in there. We're getting there because that's.
We have no format. Just go.
All right. So now we got. So the brunch scandal continues, and now we have Brian trying again because it worked so well the first time for him. Nobody bought that thing before, Mr. Grizzly. So now, I wonder how all the idiots who thought this was a fake statement from Pierre Poilievre are reacting to him showing up at the rally for Ukraine and sharing the stage with Trudeau and Ford and saying Canada stands with Ukraine. Your Putin-loving heads must be exploding. So, wow, you need to start off with idiots and then you need to call everybody who said it fake was a Putin lover.
Interesting tactic.
I'm guessing that what's sandwiched in between those two is bullshit, because that's usually a sign. That's a big bullshit sandwich. Insult on top, insult on the bottom, bullshit in the middle. Open your mouth, take a bite every day. Tastes like a same damn bite with these people. I tell you, same shit, different day, same shit sandwich with these people. Every freaking day. It's unbelievable. So here we go. PeePee was at the pro-Ukraine rally. Clutch pearls, he would never cavort with Nazis or approve of his MPs knowingly cavorting with Nazis. He's a good guy. But then again, PD just provided aid and comfort to a violent occupation that was attended by Nazis, requiring the first invocation ever of the Emergencies Act in our history. So the intended never in the spin here, doing a lot of work again. And, it's like, this guy, man. There's like nothing, no tangential relationship between these 2 points. He could be attending because, oh my God, poop is hitting the fan and I need to do something that makes me look good. He could be attending because on the night when he's doing that, maybe nobody will ask him about this because the journalists will be respectful and keep it about Ukraine, unlike a certain person that was in the audience at the time. But we'll get to him too because the plot thickens with that. So they do have nothing to do with it, but he's going to try and put those things together. He would tell us if there was something wrong. And look, he went to the Ukraine rally. So, there's no way he could be like dining with Nazis or supporting that. Vladimir Putin is saying that he's liberating Ukraine from Nazis. It would be so ironic for me and my party to be dining with Nazis while I'm attending a pro-Ukraine rally, now would it? That's some, pardon my language, kids, but that's some fucking mixed messaging.
Mm-hmm.
This is not good. And then Lilley's own damn paper freaking published a story about her in March 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto Spun. And you know what? Butters is actually mentioned in the article. Watch below as the Sun's political columnist Brian Lilley looks at how Justin Trudeau took it on the chin after his speech to the European Parliament, with a video to it.
Mm-hmm.
He's carrying the water. He's mentioned in the article, but nobody knew she was coming. Nobody knows what her views are.
No, never heard of her before. I don't know
Too
her.
many coincidences are not a coincidence, kids. This is a shit ton, pardon the language again, of evidence that they just literally looked, they just lied.
Mm-hmm.
Again, with ease and comfort. It's ridiculous.
It's who they are.
And then, so yeah, we have all the callings. Yes, here's the thing. Colin puts out his apology. Then, I profoundly regret attending a meeting without having sought the input of my staff and without having undertaken a fulsome vetting of the individuals or organizations with whom I was meeting, which is my usual practice. I alone own this mistake. I will do better. Now, this is a very, very clever thing because this actually looks like a really, really good apology.
Mm-hmm.
Not blaming anyone, taking full responsibility, committing to do better, owning up, not arguing it. Let me draw your attention to something that a lot of people missed with this. Again, I profoundly regret. I alone own this mistake. I will do better. What's in the middle of that sandwich? Attending a meeting without having sought the input of my staff and without having undertaken a fulsome vetting of the individuals or organization with whom I was meeting, which is my usual practice. Why, Mr. Carey, did on that specific day for that specific event, did you forego your usual practice?
Yeah, that's curious.
Commit journalism, people. Be curious. He's not owning anything. He's not owning anything. It's brazen lying about sympathizing with Nazis. I mean, what do you think is going to happen, right? Let's say he wants to go to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he asks his staff to do the vetting thing. The vetting thing happens, and yeah. Warning. No, abort. No. But he really wants to go because it's a dinner with an extremist from Germany. It's like the real deal. His nipples are so freaking hard. He wants to go. So, you know the answer you're going to get is no. So you don't ask. Ding, ding, ding. Instant permission.
Yeah.
It makes me think of a certain Saturday Night Live character from a certain era. Mr. Grizzly, if you would put it up there. Gee, you forego your usual practice. Oh, yeah, the church lady. Well, isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient?
Isn't that
You
special?
happened to forego your usual practice on the day the Nazi comes to town for brunch.
Yeah. The bullshit is strong with this party.
The bullshit is neck high. Not even neck. It's like just like right under the eyeballs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Just so you can see the next scoop coming at you. But you can't move because you're soaking in it. man, I am vibrating right now. This is just
Oh,
so then of course she then posts we had a wonderful trip and blah blah blah, and it's like, yeah, go away, never come back. Vaya con Dios. And then we have this. Then she gets home and she hears about it, right? And people start hearing about it. So then get this guy on Twitter said, "I'm embarrassed at the way visiting German European Union Parliament member Anderson was treated by our conservatives." It's like, if he's embarrassed, wait what he hears. Wait until what he has to hear what us non-conservatives have to say to get the paddles on the fading couch for this one. So actually, it's very Canadian to deny Nazis, and we speak it. We do it loudly, and it's like, this guy's being offended because she was treated by Polliver the same way she treated Trudeau when Trudeau. She's just reaping what she's sown. I mean, I don't know why she's offended. I mean, what did you do in Europe when our prime minister came, dude? Didn't you trash him after?
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's okay when I do it.
Uh-huh.
While he was there, she said, "Mr. Trudeau, you are a disgrace for any democracy." And then she went on to accuse him of civil rights violations during the Tucker convoy protest, calling him a dictator who treats citizens as terrorists. Christine, es tut uns nicht leid. We are not sorry. As for her party, both Anderson and Zimniak, who is another one of the three who made the comments against Trudeau while he was there, are members of the political party Alternative for Germany, described by the BBC as a far-right political party that employs rhetoric, quote, tinged with Nazi overtones. A German court ruled recently that the party is a suspected threat to democracy after an administrative court in Cologne found that there are, quote, sufficient indications of anti-constitutional goals within the AfD. Alternative for Germany is one of the national parties that fall under the Identity and Democracy group in the European Parliament. With 63 members from 10 countries, it is the fifth largest group in the Assembly. Identity and Democracy is made up of domestic political parties opposed to the EU. They hold far-right positions on issues like immigration, EU membership, and social welfare. The ID group includes France's Rassemblement National Party, which was founded by Jean-Marie Le Pen.
Yeah, she's an extreme
who your friends are.
Part.
Right. And now, again, so they don't know her and they don't know her views, but certainly they would know the party. Right? I mean, if you're not going to look her up or right? Christ, what an asshole. Lucy from Peanuts. Ah, damn. It's crazy. So, I'm here all day for the people, the war within the conservative movement, because the party's not racist enough for the nuttier fringe. I mean, I know it's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing, but anything that siphons that 3 or 4% off and splits that, I'm good.
I don't have a problem with that.
You know what? I would rather it not happen, but I'm a very, very, very freaking practical beaver.
Look, we have said time and time again on this program, we want to see a healthy, progressive, conservative, small c conservative party. The party of Joe Clark. Even the party of Brian Mulroney. And we all know how corrupt he was, envelopes full of cash. But he never would have allowed this garbage in his party. Never. No way, not in a million years would have that ever happened under his watch. Every one of them would have been booted from caucus. Every single one. It would have been, he would have had them out the door so fast, they wouldn't know what have hit them. That's the progressive conservative party we would like to see in this country again. Yep. One that actually stands up for every Canadian. Not inviting Nazis to dinner. It's the Reform Party. They're CINOs, conservative in name only. They're the Reform Party, and they are largely funded and run by the Plymouth Brethren Christian Church, and there's a lot of documents to back that up. I mean, for example, the heads of that church sitting in the front row while Stephen Harper put his hand on their Bible and swore in as Prime Minister. It goes back a long ways. They're Christo-fascist reformers who hate anything that isn't white, cis, and het.
Yep.
And I am not going to stand for it. I'm not going to give them room to breathe. I will give them no air whatsoever. They have no place in civilized society.
Yeah. Mr. Grizzly, if you would put this up a little more because it's been heavy, let's have just a little moment of lightness. Somebody parodied PeePee, actually speaking to the press. He hasn't yet. I've spoken to my MPs, and they've all informed me that they thought they were attending a Yahtzee party. The matter is closed. Now,
Yeah.
totally understandable. I mean, conservatives frequently confuse Yahtzee and Nazi. Now, if it had been a Yacht-Z party, YACHT, every conservative MP and senator would have pulled.
Yeah, it would have been there.
I'm sorry, I know you know her and you like her, Ronna Ambrose, and been all over that shit. I mean, ship.
Ship. Yeah.
Sorry, ship.
Yeah.
Right occupation, Pete?
It's only okay when I do it. When the other guy does it, it's wrong. But when I do it, it's okay. But when he does it, it's wrong. It's like, I know you are, but what am I?
Right.
That's what it reeks of. What are they, children on the playground? Yes, because
Yes.
they've got no. This is not a defensible position.
Yep.
There's no defense of this. None. Zero. If
Yes.
anybody says anything otherwise, they're either foolish or lying. It's one of the two. This is an indefensible position. You do not dine with Nazis. She is a fucking Nazi. Period. End of sentence. That's what she is.
So it seems that the con-Nazi party cannot see that it's not a good idea to dine with Nazis. All right. Now, while all this is going on, so that's the first thing, right? She comes, they find out, they deny her. Turns out that, there's a whole bunch of evidence that all that is a lie and that people are lying through their teeth, and she's not happy about it. While this is going on, there's a whole other thing going on the other side. Mr. Grizzly. So at this time, we don't know these things are connected. But then they come together. Every time I see hashtag Blackface is trending, it's usually because the CPC has been caught doing something they shouldn't be doing and they won't own up to it, so out come the Blackface trolls.
Yeah, it's true. True.
Truer words, my friend. Truer words. And then, how did that go about? And I apologize, everybody, for the images you were about to see. But it happened. So, so just trigger warning. This is not going to be. I hate this personally. Our national Leslyn. The PM wore blackface, denigrating black people, throws minority women under the bus. Now he suggests I'm racist for meeting a sitting EU MP. Ooh, there's some spin. I stand by my record defending immigrants, religious minorities, and the vulnerable, not mocking and dividing them as the Prime Minister does. And she's quoting or retweeting something from the Toronto Sun by Warmington that has a picture of her, mouth open, next to the picture of the Prime Minister back in the days when I believe he was teaching and went to the costume party dressed in the Arabian Night theme with blackface, also with his mouth open. Their heads are almost at the same angle, actually.
Yeah, it's weird, eh?
Yeah, the side-by-side is... I saw this and I had a ton of thoughts, and I can't say, because for kids who may not know, I am part black on my father's side. And there's a term that we use in our community for people like her. The indigenous sometimes have a term similar. And I would say it, but if I did say it, This, my reputation would probably be ruined.
So don't say it.
So I'm not going to say it. But fuck, am I thinking it?
Mm-hmm.
And girl, you are one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I know what you were going to say. I'm not going to say it either. But
girl, you are one.
Yeah, she's carrying their water.
So, yep. That woman, I've got a tuning in a box of tidbits that says that her version of hell is being forced to stare into a mirror for eternity with absolutely no distractions. I do not like her.
No, and so here I got to pull some graphics down here for a second so I can show this. Tweet from my friend Michelle in Toronto. What's going on here? And here it is. This is from Michelle. Michelle Jones.
Go girl.
You are a racist, homophobic bigot. Resign. You're a goddamn disgrace. You need to hear it from another black woman? Black woman? Go hang your head in shame. You knew damn well that was a neo-Nazi you hung out with. You aren't fit for public office. Conservative Party of Fascists. Michelle's response to Dr. Lewis's clapback at the Prime Minister. It's what it is, right?
Those who deny their own kind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just the same problem with Melissa Lantzman for that. Same problem. I just makes me so fucking mad.
Oh yeah.
So turns out that really was not happy.
Like I said, we really had a great time with them.
I can hear it for some reason.
Yeah. For some reason the pause is a little tricky
working
on TikTok. There we go. Here you go, Mr. Grizzly. Put it up, please.
Sure thing.
Now, this, I would say, definitely qualifies as meddling in the domestic affairs of another nation.
Like I said, we really had a great time with the members of his party. We all enjoyed ourselves. And if he resorts to that and misrepresents what I stand for in such a way, then I'm terribly sorry. Then I will have to tell Mr. Poilievre he has no business being the leader of the opposition, and he should seriously reconsider if he would like to continue to do this. Because if he does, the way I see it, the people will no longer support him, and that would serve him right. Like I said,
she's talking like she's his boss.
Yeah. Curious that, huh?
Right? That's some fucking balls.
Mm-hmm.
So, looks like PeePee, once again, may have been a horrible judge of character and have temporarily backed the wrong horse. Better yet, did you know she can't pronounce his name? Mr. Poilievre?
Yeah. Curious how that works. Doesn't even want to learn it. Somebody the other day made a comment online that I saw and said, I don't like that people refer to him as PeePee, P-E-E.
Mm-hmm.
They're like making fun of his name. I'm like, well, they are his initials. I mean, sure, people have had it. So why don't we just go PeePee with the letters P and P, because those are his initials. And it means the same thing if, and the person's response was, yeah, I could live with that. I'm like, you're really going to split the hair on that one? The man deserves no respect. Respect is earned. 21 years in political office. He has nothing to show for it. Not one bill, not one legislation, nothing tabled, nothing passed.
Except the Democratic Reform Bill that didn't really work, where he thought that the solution to democracy was kneecapping the per vote subsidy.
Yeah. That was the only thing he tried to do, tried and failed.
So, this guy first thought that Liz Truss was going to be his European meal ticket for international recognition, but she went belly up, and they have the same tax plan. Watch for it, kids. When he delivers it, it's going to be the same damn thing. And then he hitches his wagon on to Christine Anderson, and, well, she tells him that he has no business being the leader of the opposition after he kind of just throws her right under the bus. So, fight. Because the way that she's speaking and the way that she's involved and that she had the balls to criticize the prime minister while he hadn't even left Europe yet. He was still there when she slacked him. I have the feeling that she has a particularly long memory. And she's somewhat vengeful. And you know, in a Agatha Christie novel where if you see a gun in the first act, it's going to be used in the third?
Mm-hmm.
Saying that someone should watch himself or he shouldn't be leader of the party in the first act usually leads to something in the third if one does not comply. Just saying. He's making enemies. He's making enemies. He's making powerful enemies. He's making powerful enemies. And yes, Saucy, Kit Saucy, that is the dent in the armor. We can exploit, make them fight each other. Make them fight each other. Let the PPCers who think that their meal ticket is pure and to get it done like this, that he's going to betray them like he betrayed everyone else. Give him the full 3 years to do it, too. Build up a little track record. Show what a slime ball he is. Make it kind of undeniable. You know? So, if Bernier had 1/8 of a brain, he'd be capitalizing on this to get his base back right now. He'd be all over the media.
Yeah, he would.
Doing like he did when he broke off, saying that the Conservatives were morally bankrupt and, whatever bankrupt, and he'd be going into that speech again and see what happened here. See, Pierre said he was going to do it, and now look at him. First opportunity. As soon as there's a little heat, I'm not that guy. I can stand the heat. I've been taking it for the last 8 years. Come, little children. Daddy Max has got you. I'll never tell you you're bad. I'll never tell you that there's a limit I'm uncomfortable with because I want to win.
Max is a libertarian, by the way.
Yeah.
An admitted libertarian. I'm not making this up. Like, he's literally an admitted libertarian. For those of you who aren't familiar with that, a friend of mine used to work for the man. He's a libertarian, which I think is ironic because he's a politician. They're diametrically opposed to one another, right?
Yep. As Kit Lynn says, he's stuck. He's in the same boat as Andrew Sherry. He's in the same boat as Aaron O'Toole.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the wackadoodle right keeps on taking steps further and further right.
and
he's following because he wants the fundraising dollars, right?
The vast majority of Canadians are centrist.
Yes.
The vast majority, thankfully.
Rationally reasonable.
Yeah. And here's the thing. You need to remember that the rationally reasonable centrist Canadians are usually pretty quiet. Like, we don't tend to, tend not to yell and scream a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've been known to do that from time to time. Because I think if I sit there as a quiet centrist, I am doing a disservice to those folks in this country who can't speak up with the freedom that I can.
Mm-hmm.
This allows me the ability to say whatever I want, and it doesn't limit or harm me. Now, what I say are not controversial. They're always truth. I don't spread lies. I will always speak the truth. And if I make a mistake, I will fully admit to it and apologize. I'm not going to double down. But I don't make a lot of mistakes because before I spew anything in anger, I have done my reading to make sure that what I'm saying is factual. There are no consequences when you speak the truth. There are consequences for your actions, but if you're telling the truth, if you're being honest and truthful and forthcoming, there's no consequence for that. Unless, of course, you want to say, well, the consequence is your platform was boosted. Well, that's an ancillary benefit to being honest and truthful. People will respect you for it. People will support you for it.
Yep.
Look, bad news sells more than good news. We know that.
Right. And a lie gets around the world before the truth can put its pants on.
It's true. And we will always be honest and forthcoming and truthful with you. We won't lie. We won't. Occasionally I will yell at bad people for doing bad things. I'm trying to get that under control. I'm working on it. I've got a long ways to go, and I'm trying to curb my F-bombs on this show because my mom watches the show and she doesn't particularly care for it, but she does understand. She does understand that sometimes that word is the one that fits the narrative. When you're angry at injustices, at people who are not in a position to defend themselves, who are being harmed by people of positions in power who can punch down, yeah, I get mad. Yep. And I'm going to swear about it because it angers me that people in positions of power who sit in their golden palace on their golden throne can sit there and spew hatred and anger and bile down upon those of us who cannot defend ourselves. And I say cannot defend ourselves because we are not in a financial position to do so, or we don't have a voice. So this little platform that we have, this is a voice for those of us who are underprivileged. This is the voice for those of us who don't have a voice. We're here to speak up and out and against anger, hatred, division, racism, all the religious phobias, all of them, all of the bad isms. We're going to speak out against them every single time.
Including miserableism, because it's getting fucking heavy, pardon my language. Mr. Grizzly, if you would put this up, this is something that might make us feel a little better. I consider this, it's almost anti-PR porn. So, just, it's been a little heavy. Now, this is also heavy, but it might make you feel good.
Response to Mr. Poilievre's statement.
Pierre Poilievre, you have just shown the entirety of Canada exactly who the fuck you are.
Shame on you. You're no better than the rest of them, you little puppet.
Well, Pierre, thank you on behalf of many Canadians that you showed your true colors today. Disgusting.
Pierre is a plant. He's a sellout. He's a World Economic Forum bitch boy.
Well, Pierre, I just want to say thank you. Couldn't make up my mind for a long time. I was actually leaning more towards you, voting for you. I was thinking hard. Actually voting for you.
Yeah, they're cannibalizing themselves. It's great. It's good to see. You love to see it.
Does that make me a bad person? I'm enjoying it so much.
Well,
because I'm a nice sweetheart. I'm actually a really good egg. It's like, this is surprising me how much glee.
I know, Shandon Freud, right? I had a conversation yesterday with a woman about it's Dr. Christine I always screw her name up. So I'm not going to try. Yes, I believe that's her name.
Yeah.
She follows extremists.
Yep.
Queen Romana Dildo or whatever the hell her name is, and she talked about yesterday how Romana was handing out money. Money that she's printed herself.
Yes.
But you had, and I read this. We make it rain chlorpromazine. Like, what the hell? I just don't know what to say about this anymore. So I'm going to pour myself a cup of coffee. Have a sip and think to myself, we've lost our collective minds. I just don't know.
Man, we don't know. Just don't know. All right, Mr. Grizzly, if you would. Now we get to a whole other thing. We've got a little spicy Trudeau for you this morning, kids.
Yes. This is the second thing, and I've got a little footnote to add to this after we watch this video. I've got a little footnote to pop in here. So let's go. Let's go. Let's make this happen.
All right, let's try that again.
The 3 Conservative MPs, including a member.
Should be able to blow that up.
Who met with a member of the far-right German AFD party.
Oh, never mind.
I think the Conservative Party of Canada owes some explanations to Canadians. We've seen consistently a pattern from Conservative, whether it's attaching a misogynistic YouTube tag to reach out to anti-women groups online through YouTube videos. The answer is, oh, we didn't know about it. There's nothing to see here. A Conservative leader meets with a known far-right extremist. Oh, we didn't know who it was. Consistently, we see Conservative parliamentarians and people who should know better associating themselves with folks responsible for a particularly vile level of rhetoric and hatred. And their answer is all the same. Oh, we didn't know. At one point, Canadians need to stop being treated like fools, and the Conservatives need to own up and either really dissociate themselves from hateful, vile, intolerant rhetoric, or tell the truth and explain that they actually have room for those rhetorics and that intolerance within their party.
Boom. 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 He finally said it. Finally, somebody said it. Stop taking us for fools. TruDaddy's reading my mind. I like this guy. I like this guy. Like this guy. Sometimes you just need to tell people to go fuck right on off.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Spicy.
They go up in the polls. That's all I should say. Down the road, this better damn show up in the polls. Because that was a thing of frickin' beauty. Yes. And then Trudeau got spicy again.
A year ago today, Ukrainians woke up to the horror of war in their... Hey, sir, I think Ukrainians can tell you a little bit about freedom and liberty, so why don't you settle down? This is a night for them, not for you. This is a night for Ukrainians, not for you. If you want to stand and cheer with Ukraine, do that. You want to wave that Ukrainian flag, please do. But let people celebrate that Ukraine is still standing and Canada stands with it.
All right.
So my footnote to that, the individual who was frothing at the mouth and screaming at the Prime Minister.
We're getting there. Yep.
Well, no. I've
that's what's coming next. Yep.
Had the displeasure of meeting him.
Oh.
That's my footnote. Yeah, I've had the displeasure of meeting him. Last April, when the biker rally was in town, he approached, I was standing there with Marianne and Karima, and he approached Karima and said some stuff to Karima and asked to take a picture with her. And he did. And then he spewed a bunch of stuff. And then later on that day, he walked around my neighborhood spewing anti-vax bullshit and paraded in front of the pub where I was sitting there having a pint on the patio in the nice sunny weather with some friends. So as they paraded up and down the street, I got out and stood and yelled at them and told them to get out of my neighborhood. And I told him to get the hell out of my way or he would regret it. And then the police officer standing there said, "Hey, can you take it down a few notches?" And I just looked at the cop and smiled and said, "No problem." Walked in the pub, sat down, had another pint. Yeah, he's a particularly nasty piece of shit. He's out every weekend protesting for freedom at Queen's Park.
Yeah.
What?
Now,
and again, not a single one of them have ever answered my question. What freedom have you lost? None of them have ever answered that. Well, I couldn't get on a plane. Not a freedom. That's a privilege. It's not a freedom. You need to abide by the rules of the airline which you are traveling. If you don't abide by the rules, they don't let you on the plane. That is not a freedom. There is nothing in our charter that says you have the right to get on an aircraft. Nothing. You have the right to freedom of movement. Well, I wasn't able to get on a plane, but you did drive across the country to park in my neighborhood and shit in my streets. You had the freedom of movement. You can't get on a plane? Well, that's because they put orders in to keep their passengers, their customers, safe.
It's capitalism. It's not tyranny. It's capitalism.
Not one of them can tell me a freedom that they lost, because nobody lost a single freedom during the shutdown. Nobody lost a thing. Well, I couldn't leave my apartment. Bullshit. That's bullshit, and you know it. Nobody was locked in their apartment. No one. All the mandates, by the way, what were they again? What were the mandates? Say it with me now. The mandates are provincial.
Very well done, kids. You all get a gold star. Kid Lane, speaking of spicy, we seem to have a spicy beaver this morning. Yeah, you have a spicy beaver on about 2 hours sleep. So
He texted me at like 4:30 in the morning. I was asleep, obviously. He's like, I'm having insomnia, so if you don't hear from me by 6:40, call me. Well, he texted me at 6:25, said, I'm up. I'm like, okay, cool. We'll do a show. He's very tired.
So, CPC Nazi brunch scandal continued. So, basically, everything about the Nazi brunch, like a Looney Tunes cigar, is blown up several times in the CPC's face in many different ways. Therefore, the pro-Ukraine rally was supposed to be a moment of respite from this mess and hopefully an opportunity for a channel change. Because, certainly no journalist is going to ask Pierre about this whole thing while we're at a rally for Ukraine, because, as the Prime Minister astutely and accurately pointed out, this was a moment for Ukraine. And that's the problem I have with these freaking loudmouths, is that they want to make every moment theirs, even when it's not.
Every single time.
That's not always going to be about your freaking thing.
No, and that's the childish, self-centered approach to it all. They forget that there are other people in this world. It's what did Karina say some time ago? The singularity of it.
Right.
It's just me. I suffered over the last 3 years over lockdowns, and again, there was never a lockdown.
The Prime Minister somewhere, this is going to be my opportunity, no matter what it is, no matter what the occasion. It's my opportunity. No, it's not. Fuck. Not every occasion is. There are times to heckle. There are events that are appropriate for heckling, and they're not a pro rally for the weird invasion of a country that we're. No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Damn it.
I hear you.
It's like, choose your frickin' moment. Read the damn room. Nobody came there for that. Freedom. It's like, nobody came there for that.
Yeah, you want to cry freedom, go over to Ukraine and cry freedom for them. Join their military. Join their what's the name of it? Their international force. If you're so bent out of shape thinking you're losing freedoms, first off, you're not. Get on a plane, fly to Poland, cross the border into Ukraine, pick up a rifle, and shoot back at Russians who are stealing freedom from Ukrainians. Otherwise, shut your pie hole.
Yeah. Mr. Grizzly, here's where it starts to get interesting. Because, again, you have the dinner with the Nazis. That's one thing. You have Leslyn Lewis, screaming about blackface. That's another thing. And then you have this Ukrainian thing, and the Prime Minister's gotten spicy all 2 times. What the heck's going on here? This is how it all connects, kids. Get ready for this. Gets good. The heckler is this guy here. Derek Bellamy, a.k.a. Fringe Derek. Partner of Chris Guy. Hearsay works for Roman Bobber, whatever.
Allegedly.
Roman was born in the Soviet Union. He was the person in Ontario who got thrown out of the Ontario Progressive Conservative Party and then tried to, run for the leadership, hoping that Pierre will give him an uncontested nomination coming to the next election so he can keep his meal ticket. All right. So that's this guy. Well, what do you know?
Yeah.
Doesn't look too happy to be with him, though. Doesn't look too happy to be with him. There we go. That's from Reuters.
Mm-hmm.
Them two together. And, oh, well, look who he's standing with. Wow. What a different expression on his face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He seems real happy to be with her.
Snuggling up to Nazis, who, by the way, she snuggles up to Putin.
Well. All of a sudden, the guy in the audience who is heckling is someone who knows Pierre and knows Nazi lady. Boo Boo Kitty litter here. Normally I say Boo Boo Kitty, but I'm saying Boo Boo Kitty litter here.
Yeah, because he's full of shit.
Holy crap. Well, blow
yeah,
me over.
He's a little douche. And little, I mean, he's just a little fella. I mean, I'm not a monster, but I'm 6 foot and change, and he's little compared to me.
Yeah.
And
so,
he's a little piece of shit.
So then
follow the money.
We got Brian again. Didn't work the first 2 times, but he's still trying to make fetch happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So if a Conservative MP puts out an official statement on official party letterhead, do the whack jobs claiming pure statement to me was false suddenly believe it, or do they shapeshift like lizard people and adopt a new position? Saying the one about Colin's apology, where he said it was all my fault and I didn't check. It's like, no, we don't shapeshift.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who shapeshifted. Colin's the one who shapeshifted. Oh, I didn't know when he was found out. We're just saying the same thing we said all along. And of course, again, we're whack jobs and lizard people, and right, just only the best journalism. So then you got Brian Lilley. This is the whole counter-programming now, right? Now he's talking about China like this, and now he's talking about Trudeau's drug policies, and then PeePee's out in Newfoundland saying that he's going to fight back for the people. And it's like, dude, you can't even fight against 3 Nazi sympathizers in your own damn party. You don't tell me you're going to fight for Newfoundlanders. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. And then, of course, you got Pierre Poilievre going again. Trudeau has given 32% more violent crime with his catch and release bail. It's like, oh, come on, dude. It's like, given the sheer number of unconstitutionally, allegedly tough on crimes law for which this guy voted, only for the Supreme Court to overturn, it's not exactly like Twit for Brains here would recognize, quote, common sense laws and safe street for our people. And please define our. When you talk about safe streets for our people, who are you? Who are our people? Somebody really needs to ask this guy that. He wouldn't recognize it if they bit him.
No.
And then you got John Ivison pumping in. We simply can't trust Trudeau's word on China's electoral interference. It's like, yeah, like we're going to trust Pierre Poilievre and the National Post to take on stuff because they're already foreign owned and we know that they're controlled agents of deliberate misses. Like, come on, man. So the machine goes into work overtime. And this is where sometimes I wish we could have a cone of shame for humans. I lay down, I lick, and there's nothing there. And turns out we do have them. So I'm going to need them in several sizes, pretty colors. I'm wondering if they have a bulk price because I'm going to hand these things fucking out like lollipops. At least we'll know who they are. Oh, crap. The cone of shame. The cone of shame. So now, with all of that, remember his original thing? Brian Lilley, or the original statement for all this? Like, dude, it did not take well for that. It did take long for that to not age well. All the idiots who thought this was a fake statement. Not only is it fake, holy crap. I just spent an hour laying out all the bullshit around it, saying how fake that was. I mean, they are real. Listen, it's bad when they throw this much at it to try and bury it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they went into a room and just like poured 5 bottles of Febreze all over the place and think, oh, that may get rid of the smell.
And again, still not a single comment, not an official statement whatsoever from Skippy. Nothing. Zero. Not a word. Nothing on Twitter. Meantime, all weekend long, he was just trying to dredge up stuff that doesn't exist or has been put to get bed a long time ago. Constantly trying to churn the waters, chum the waters, or whatever you want to say, whatever descriptive verbiage you can come up with there to try and create a controversy for the Trudeau Liberals, while completely ignoring what his government just did. He's going to gloss it over if he can.
Oh yeah,
no
absolutely.
official statement, nothing, zero. Not a statement, not a peep, not a tweet, not a YouTube video, nothing.
Same thing he did through the
Tell you
whole
all you need to
convoy
know.
thing. Yep, same thing he did through the whole convoy thing. Yeah. So Christine Anderson's on the warpath for having been rejected. The real reason Pierre attended the Ukraine rally was revealed. He was there to be able to pick up opportunistically if a staged stunt by his pal worked out. It didn't, but I knew that there was no way that Mr. Me was there for Ukrainians. So Butters is quick to label others as idiots because he bought the CPC line on this wholesale, and then he got totally played by from those he sold out his soul to. His friends literally let him hung out to dry. It's like the mafia without the loyalty. There's no such thing as conservative friends, only conservative interests. It's like one day Brian will have taken enough abuse to blow the lid on it all, but it's like this guy seems like a pain and a humiliation junkie because he just keeps on taking it. I mean, they made him carry the water like this, and when it did, they pulled the rug out from under. I don't even know if he got a call.
Probably not.
Like, and I can't help but wonder what PeePee had planned if the PM didn't handle that heckler so masterfully, because he was there for it.
Oh yeah. Well, he's, we're starting to see signs of his late father when it comes to that. Like that, he's sat on that during his whole 7 years in office. He sat on that, and he's just. I thought he was going to pull it out last year during the convoy. We were all waiting for him, right? We were all waiting for him. Everybody was say the line, just watch me. He didn't do that, which was. I'm not going to lie. I was a little disappointed. I was hoping to hear the line.
Me too.
I really was hoping to hear the line because it was an opportune moment to drop that little bomb. He didn't do that. That's fine. But a year later, he's like, all right, enough of this shit. I'm not putting up with it anymore. And people who don't even like the man are coming out and defending him on this and saying he's doing the right thing.
Yes.
People who have never voted Liberal, will never vote Liberal, don't care for the man, really hate him because of his virtue signaling, blah, 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 are coming out and supporting him in droves because right is right and wrong is wrong, and he is on the right side of history.
Yep. All right. More fun and interesting things. Mr. Grizzly, they didn't know who she was and they didn't know what her views were, but, well, there she is with La Tamara. And her lawyer, Keith Wilson, who keeps on aiding and abetting her and violating her bail.
Yeah, that's one of her bail conditions right now that she's violating, is she not? She's not supposed to be on any social media.
But she's there with the presence of her lawyer.
Yeah, so that skirts the law, right?
Yep. And then, well, look at her. It was Theo Fleury and Jamie Salé.
Two of the dumbest people in the country.
And
Diagolon salute.
Is it just me that I find it a little weird that goes in the different? Are they holding their flag up, or is this going the wrong way? It just seems to me that they should be in the same direction. But anyway,
they're not the brightest bulbs on the Christmas tree, so who the hell knows?
Wow. So this guy from Diagolon, I believe Derek Harrison or something is his name. Apparently he's well known in the circles. Wow, these photos are going to go over real well at election time, aren't they?
Oh, we'll be trotting them out left, right, and center, my friends.
Imagine what the Liberal Party, the people in the communications department of the Liberal Party must be having. It must be Christmas for them right now.
Well, and remember, we have always said we will not tell you how to vote. We won't. We want you to vote. We would prefer if you didn't vote for the Nazi Party, but you're free to vote for whomever you want. But we want you to make an informed decision. So we're going to inform you at every opportunity we have to let you know who that party represents, because it sure as hell isn't us.
Now, kids, this is something that's going to make your spine get very cold. This was a dinner at the Eglinton Theatre on the 21st of February. at which it is reported that the 3 CPC members were present. I can't confirm that because I can't see them in the video and I don't know anything else about the event. Now, I've seen the longer ones, 2 minutes or something, but this is 28. There's a video presentation before it. Get ready.
This is World War III. The objective is to establish the Fourth Reich. The Nazis were never vanquished. Our choice is clear. Either we assert our freedom and our rights as free human beings, or we will succumb to a global catastrophe far exceeding the magnitude of the Holocaust. This is World War III.
What exactly was that about? I'm confused. Who was she and what was she going on about?
I do not know who she was, but there was like a certain 2 or something minute video presentation before everybody talked. This is the context of her visit. Everybody's in this room. The Nazism did not die. We're preparing the Fourth Reich.
So is she for the Nazis?
We
or
are
against
in
the
World War.
Nazis?
She's for. She's promoting this.
Okay, I was very confused by her tone.
No. She's saying that they are in danger. So they need to prepare that Fourth Reich because they are in World War III now.
See, that's what I missed. I didn't quite get that. Okay, that's pretty disturbing.
The 3 CPC MPs are there. They're still in caucus. How the fuck is that possible?
Boot them out. Boot them out.
There is nothing ambiguous about that meeting.
Clearly.
So they're on video like this. They're inviting them to dinner and taking pictures and publishing them. And they don't think that this is a bad look. They feel safe.
Well, they were nice Nazis, right? No, there's no such thing. The only good Nazi is one you punch in the face.
Now we get to the thing that you've been putting up, Mr. Grizzly. So we have the Brian Lilley thing again. The first statement: the views are vile. Blah 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 blah. CPC MP Dean Allison has confirmed to me that he did not approve the statement about his meeting with Christine Anderson. Hello, Dean.
Lee is with Diagolon as well.
Yes. Hello, Dean. Somehow there was a mix-up, and the number you sent me a link from was your wife's cell, so I had been texting her. I wanted to inquire about the joint statement that was put out about Christine Anderson on your behalf. Do you regret meeting with her? So you weren't aware or asked to give a statement to journalism, Brian Lilley. That's odd. Oh, the party sent something out. Oh, thank you for responding, Dean. I have not sent anything out. Edited to I have not sent any. Yeah, basically. I have not sent anything out. Now, if that wasn't weird enough, it's like, PeePee, you have some explaining to do. Because that's weird. You're putting out a statement in someone else's name, putting words in their mouth. And that's a big old busted. That's a big old busted. And if you put this one up, Mr. Grizzly, this is where it gets even better.
I don't have anything to share.
Oh, sorry. It was on one screen, but not the other. There you go. Also from her, Dean Allison called. He asked me to take down my post with this statement about Christine Anderson and said, quote, I serve the Conservative Party.
Well, isn't that special?
It's just... Oh. So, apparently, he's got her phone number. And it seems that he's taking orders from her. Who is this woman? Who is this woman that stands up in the European Parliament, who has the power, the gall, the backing to stand up and insult the Prime Minister of Canada when he's there, then organize a tour here, cavort all over with them, and then start threatening? Now, hey, I have no problem with threatening the political career of our leader of the opposition, Curran. But the source of it, in this case, is rather concerning.
Mm-hmm.
And you have CPC MPs now seeming to have a direct line to her. What the fuck is going on? This is not normal.
No. I remember reading something that a buddy of mine discussed with me a couple of years back when Steve Bannon was part of the Trump mob. How he said history has a tendency to repeat itself. So like a 75-year cycle or something to that effect. And he was talking about how he saw the rise of Hitler, the Nazi Party in Germany, what took place back then, and how it's starting to repeat itself today because people seem to not be able to read or refuse to see what actually took place. And I loathe to admit, but I think he's right. It's on the rise.
Mm-hmm.
It's troublesome. I never thought in my lifetime we would ever see Nazism, and yet here it is. Yeah. We had a war about this, remember?
Yeah.
Millions died.
And we said never again.
And here it is.
This is not okay. This is not okay. Them 3 MPs need to be out of caucus now. And if that doesn't happen, caucus has got to throw that guy overboard.
Mm-hmm.
He is unfit to lead.
Well, there's no leadership.
It is supposed to be His Majesty's loyal official opposition. This is non fidelis.
Mm-hmm.
This is not okay. Not okay.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody, our Prime Minister, is not taking it. He's standing up. This is nonpartisan. This is democracy versus autocracy.
Yes. Period.
There's only one side. There's only one side.
There are no fine people on the side of the Nazis. None. Not a single one. None. I don't even know if they're capable of redemption. I'm not saying they aren't, but I don't know that they are.
We are a multilingual, multicultural, multi-faith, gender fluid, sexual fluid country. That is who we are.
Period.
We are a beautiful mosaic of all the things that make people unique and different and interesting. And you're allowed to be one thing, 2 things, 3 things, this and a little bit of something else. You're allowed to borrow from column A and bring it into your life. You're allowed to take the best and leave the rest. This is the complete antithesis to what we are and who we are.
As a nation, as a people, as a system of the Westminster system of parliamentary democracy, of our beliefs, who we are as people, this flies in the face of all of that.
There's only one side. The Prime Minister's on the right one at this moment.
Mm-hmm. Period.
And on this one specific issue, that's the rallying cry.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you arm in arm and you shoulder to shoulder and you lock arms, because this can't happen. Not can't as in it's not possible. It's very possible. As in can't, as in we can't, like
we can't allow it.
We have to pull like a Gandalf, right? You shall not pass. It's like back off, bitches.
Yeah.
Back into your hole. Because and when it comes to this type of stuff, people often learn too late. You have to punch back 5 times as hard the first time.
Yes.
And you need to do it every time. Every time they show up, every time they open their mouth like this. They had that thing at the library, at the Satan Library in Calgary, where the two people tried to invade a drag story time, and one of them literally thrown his ear. Apparently one of them a pastor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They created a space that was, in the name of saving children, they created a space that was a danger to children. I guess. All you companies in Calgary, like when Pride comes along, you got your floats and all that kind of stuff, this is time to pony up.
Mm-hmm.
This is above the fifth column mentioned in the United States, and it's probably similar to Canada. There's about 10% of what's before generation millennials, and then it's Generation Z.
Yeah, Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, boomers.
Okay, about 10%, according to of millennials, identify along the whole gender fluid scale, or 5%, and in Gen Z, it's 10%.
Yeah.
And they have friends and family or whatnot that are not fluid, whatnot, but that support them and love them. He described that as that being about 20% of the market. No business can afford to forego 20% of the market. So, time to put your rainbow dollars where your mouths are, because our community is under attack.
Yeah, and if you don't stand up and shout, stand up and fight, and stand up against tyranny, well,
the state of Tennessee is passing a lot of ban drag at the moment.
But they're the freest country in the world, right?
So that's coming here.
Yeah.
They're going to try it.
Well, we talked about this last June when Roe v. Wade was reversed by the Supreme Court in the United States of America, how the next thing to come would be taking away contraception. And they're trying to do it. I said the next one after that will be an end to same-sex marriage. Mm-hmm. It's a slippery slope, and they're on it. We are on the precipice of it. If we don't stand up and push back and fight back, we'll be going down that slope with them. And I want no part of that.
Yeah, it's like you're at the top of a cliff like this, and they're hanging, they're clutching onto you, and if they pull, you're going over with them.
Yeah.
And you know what? A lot of them don't care if they survive so long as they take down as many as they can with them.
Yeah. It's true.
We are dealing with that. I mean, like I said, I'm an optimist. I'm very positive, but I'm also eyes wide open.
Yes.
Being well informed and being well aware and being forewarned is being forearmed and all that stuff. Ounce of prevention. I believe in all of that.
Yeah, we're in a very strange timeline, and what's going to happen in the next 2-3 weeks, 2-3 months, year, I don't know. I can guarantee you that PeePee will never be prime minister. Guarantee you of that. It's never going to happen. He just, put the final nail in his coffin by pretending that none of this happened over the weekend and hasn't addressed a thing of it. This will not sit well.
But they have to rake him over the coals, right? How many questions has he been asked since the Rouleau report? How is this?
Well, he won't answer them. He won't answer a single question.
But where are the inches of column talking about it that he's not answering? Where was the whole 2-3 days and weekend of editorials about their role in this, what this means for them, as what it meant for the protesters, what it meant for civil liberties, what it meant for the government, but nobody said what it meant for the party that actually supported it and sponsored it. They're skating.
Mm-hmm.
They're skating away. It's just, I don't understand this, man. Because we had the thing with COVID. We had seniors die by the bucket load. Nobody talked about it during the election. We have this Rouleau report where it was like the whole thing. Everybody was, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Turns out that everything was pretty much okay. There are things we can do better. People got admonished. Oh, we're not talking about it. Well, we had a political party sponsor a frickin' occupation that was deemed to be violent enough to require the first ever invocations of the Emergencies Act in our country's history. An act, when invoked, prompts an inquiry. We should be talking about this.
Yeah.
We should be talking about the party that said, let's keep this going so the prime minister can wear it.
Remember that 60% of the media in this country is owned by Chatham Asset Management, which is part of the post-media conglomerate. So the Sun, National Post, that chain of news, the Ottawa Citizen included, all falls under Post Media. Post Media, 60% owned by Chatham Asset Management, which is a hedge fund that is an extreme right-wing Republican-funded organization. Prior to Stephen Harper, Canadian media had to be owned by Canadians. Harper changed the rules so they were allowed to own up to 60%.
Why are they not changing it back?
What happens when they change it to 60%? We get American right-wing conservative influence that is religious-based, that is trying to strip us of our rights that we fought for, that people died for. And if we don't stand up and fight back now, I don't know where we're going to be as a nation in a couple of years. I honestly don't.
That's a law that clearly didn't work. Laws can be reversed. Change it back.
Yeah, they're called amendments, right?
It's like, come on, man.
Anything can be amended. Hey, you know what? This was a bad idea. Let's change it. Okay. Yeah, I think we can do that.
Oh, sorry, kids. I haven't been reading a lot of the comments, but I just saw one from Linda. If Douglas were an MP, imagine what question period would be like.
Be interesting.
I think that's probably the best compliment I've ever received. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? I actually needed that right now because I'm vibrating. Thanks. That puts a little salve on my rage.
They'd kick me out for yelling too much. Because I would be yelling. I'd be yelling at the people across the aisle who continue to heckle. That's who I'd be yelling at. I would stand up and scream at them, shut up, sit down, and listen. This is what adults do when they have a conversation. We don't sit there and pound the desk and heckle one another. We're not children. We're adults. We're paid representatives of the citizens of this country. They pay us to be here. Let's be professional. This heckling shit, I can't watch question period because my blood boils.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Yeah, so it got saucy because I would kick out for swearing. I think it would too, and I'm not like a big swear. Politics is about the only thing that makes me swear. Politics and when I hurt myself, about the only things that make me swear. I could just imagine myself, especially if ever they get cameras that pan all over the place and not just in one spot. Like just like, oh my god, the eye rolls would be epic, and the number of come on, that's bullshit. That would be just coming out of my mouth. Yeah. Hopefully, my mic wouldn't be on. Oh, come on, man. Get out there with that fucking shit. It's just, yeah, I don't know. It would be tough to be I think I don't know. It might be hard for me. I don't know. I generally am a rule follower. So I like to think I have mastery of self. So maybe I'd be okay. I don't know. But yeah. I think it would be fire because, yeah. I get a little the claws come out, I guess. Mr. Grizzly, should we end with a little bit of later news? Do you have anything light?
Light? Not really, honestly.
All right.
But we can mention our title sponsors, Eleganza, for your fashion faux pas. And our second title sponsor, Manmates. Oh, yeah, for your 70s fashion foul-ups.
All right, let's have, I have one little bit of good news, or at least not depressing news.
Less
unless you happen to be a fan of Team Manitoba and Jennifer Jones, then maybe it's not the happiest news. Mr. Grizzly, if you would put it up. That was the end of the 9th end yesterday at the final of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. It was a very close game up until that point, but that happened, and then it was, rather than 5-4, 10-4, and they shook hands.
Oh, so Jennifer Jones didn't, she was going for a record, wasn't she?
She was going for a record 7th title, and denied. But Carrie Anerson, the skip from Team Canada, wins her 4th Scotties in a row.
Oh, wow.
Tying the record from Colleen Jones, Miss Sunshine on CBC News.
Mm-hmm.
She won it. She won 4 times in a row. So only two women have done it in Canadian history, won 4 times in a row. And had Jennifer Jones won, she too would have made history, winning her 7th title. And she's tied with, you guessed it, Colleen Jones for the most titles.
Wow.
At 6. So it was a great, it was a really good match. Really, really close. Just they were like 1, 1, 1, 1, then maybe a 2, and then 1 again, and then boom, the 5. Just Jennifer Jones missed a key shot, and
in other sporting news for Team Canada, Mikhail Kingsbury won another title, another
crystal globe.
Yeah, like this guy owns all the records there are in mogul skiing, all of them. His legacy will stand for decades. I don't think anybody will ever be able to touch what he's done. His win record is, what is he, up to 60% now? Like, it's ridiculous.
It's something, yeah, really, really phenomenal. And I'm not sure I'm going to have to read up more on this, but it seemed like they had in this particular, I'm not sure if it's moguls or if it's another thing, because we had already reported that he had wrapped up the Crystal Globe in moguls.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be another event, but I get the impression that he was maybe tied in the standings and they had to have a race off.
Yeah, and he won. So the guy he had to beat had a score of 89.90. And Mikhail got 89.92.
Ooh.
Like, you can't get much closer than that. And I watched the run, and it was spectacular. Now, Mikhail Kingsbury is 30 years old. He'll be 31 this summer. And he's still on top of his game. Now, people go, well, 31 is still young. Yes, it is. It is young for a professional athlete in a lot of sports. But in mogul skiing, which he's been on the world circuit since he was 17. Mogul skiing, to be running that long, is insane. And he's had a fairly injury-free career. Now, he's had injuries, of course, but I mean, for the most part, his career has been pretty much untouchable when it comes to that. So I don't think we will ever see another mogul skiing like him in our lifetime. Maybe someday in 30 or 40 years from now, but in our lifetime, I don't think so. I really don't. He's untouchable on the mountain when it comes to mogul skiing. He's so fluid, so fast. His aerials are just ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like I watch in awe.
Yep.
He's that good.
He's that
good.
And
Alex Bilodeau said, look, this guy is the next guy. He's going to win everything. You watch. He was not wrong.
Mm-hmm. More good news. Canadian Brendan Fraser won at the SAG Awards, Screen Actors Guild Awards.
Mm-hmm.
And so did Jamie Lee Curtis. And
yeah, she did. Yeah.
Yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once, won a whole bunch of stuff. And that was really good. But here's the other big news. This lady here who you just put up. Get ready to remember this name. This is Laurence Saint-Germain. And Canadians had won 3 medals already at the World Alpine Ski Championships, and she made it a 4th, and it was gold.
World champion in slalom.
Came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. I watched her run, too. It was ridiculous as well.
She beat Michaela Schifrin. Schifrin finished 2nd.
Yeah.
And Schifrin's a legend.
Oh, yeah.
Living legend. So I don't know what they put in the water for our skiers this year. Holy crap.
It is. I'd like a glass full, please.
Yes, please. Keep it coming. All right. Kits. That's the end of this episode.
I do have one little tidbit just before you shut her down.
Okay.
Our title today that I put in, because I have to put a title in when I prep all this, it's Nazi Cons F Off. And the reason is that's a cultural reference to a link I just put in the chat from the Dead Kennedys. Nazi punks F off. It's a play on words there. The video is up if you want to click on it and have a view. It is 1 minute. Well, it's a 2-minute video of a 1-minute song from the Dead Kennedys from 1983. It's a butt-kicking song. I love it. It's loud, it's angry, it's fast, it's in your face, and it's basically telling bad people where to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, kids, that's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver Podcast. We hope you love listening to us because we loved making this for you. And said I always get a particular enjoyment when we get to do an episode that is a little more important and meaningful. And this one definitely qualifies because we're ringing the alarm here.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. So please let your circle of influence know about us. We appreciate it very, very much. Because democracy is something you do, if you can get in contact with your elected representative in some way to let them know that you don't stand this, that would probably be a good idea. It would be a good idea for people to be writing in massively and like have MPs like go to the press saying, I received these many calls, these many emails, these many letters, this many, and try to make that a story.
Well, and just remember, Twitter polls and Twitter, that does nothing for you. It
a letter to your MP is the most effective.
Correct.
A call, then an email.
They don't look at any of the stuff on Facebook or Twitter when it comes to actually polling people. It gets completely disregarded, completely tossed out. It's a waste of your time when it comes to that. It might make you feel better in the second, but it's not going to do anything for democracy. Write your MP and your MPP.
Yep. Kit Linda says, I already contacted my MP for whatever good it does. It does. It does, especially when it happens in numbers. Remember, like that saying, all it takes is a committed group of people, to do something to bring a change. I can't remember the quote off the top of my head. But everybody who's listening to this, I do not know what our overall listenership is, but whatever it is, if each one of you took a couple of minutes and just wrote a letter to your MP, to your MPP, put it in an envelope, you don't even need a stamp. Write your MP and your MPP.
Just drop
put it in the mail and let them know we're not okay with this and that you expect them to see taking very, very strong stands. It does make a difference. It does.
It absolutely really does.
If you really like this podcast, you can find us on Crier Media Network as well as all Beaver Grizzly friendly platforms. Stars and reviews are appreciated, and we love to hear from you. So please contact us on Facebook, True North Eager Beaver, at True Eager on Twitter, or by email at truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com, or leave a comment in the comments section if you're watching us on YouTube. And remember, as Kit Elaine likes to say, smash that button. Why not also subscribe to our True North Eager Beaver Incorporated YouTube channel if you're watching us there? It helps us big time. We crossed 160, Mr. Grizzly, so slowly but surely, little train that could. We're going to do it. We're going to get to that 1,000. We can't do this without you and your kind and generous support. So if you feel we've done a particularly good show today, and well, if you're watching, you can scan the QR code in the upper left-hand corner above Mr. Grizzly there, and that will bring you to our tip jar. And if you are listening, our tip jar can be found at coffee.com. That's coffee, ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, all in one word, lowercase letters. And let your fingers do the walking and, hot chocolate for me. And I don't know, you feeling like a Guinness or a coffee today, Mr. Grizzly?
Maybe a bottle of whiskey.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Finally, we've got that smooth, sleek, wonderful, stylish, fashionable, hot, eager beaver merch that you love. We have Mr. Grizzly Civic Tees and we have Eager Beaver Tees designed by our good pal Kit Pete Jarvis at our Crier Media Shop. That's crier.co/crier-media-shop. And we've got them in sizes small to 3XL, so there's something for literally everybody. Get yourself some fabulous today and let the world know that you don't stand for supporting Nazis. Because when you wear an Eager Beaver shirt, that makes it pretty damn clear. From the Beaver Lodge, this is your Eager Beaver saying, until next time, dear kids, it can be a tough world out there, so be kind to and gentle with yourself. I'm just going to go before Mr. Grizzly with some words of wisdom on my own. Don't dine with Nazis. It's bad.
Mine is a scrolling Chiron.
Yep. Don't vote for people who dine with Nazis. And if you have people in your workplace that dine with Nazis, fire them.
Yep.
Miss Grizzly, the Chiron is your
words of wisdom? Words of wisdom. It's chaos. Be kind. Except for Nazis. Punch them.
There you go, kids. Roll the credits, Mr. Grizzly. Oh, what a show. You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum. And the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
And he's still dancing to the music.
I love them. I'm a slave to nothing but the rhythm kits.
For those who are curious, I will be doing an ASMR at 9 p.m. this evening. It's every Monday at 9 p.m. on my personal YouTube channel, Polly's World ASMR, for those who need to vent and discuss their mental health.
And Kit Mel, if I were in town, I would happily bring you breakfast and coffee today to earn your love forever. Have a great day,
Alrighty.
kids.
See ya.